Hi everyone, welcome to Reading with Reference. My name is Katherine. I'm a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library, and today I've got two books to tell you about that I've read really recently and loved a lot. The first one is called Luster by Raven Leilani. It's a debut novel, which shocked me because it is so incredibly well written and insightful that I thought for sure the author must be a veteran novelist. It follows Edie, who's a 23-year-old black woman working low on the totem pole in New York City's publishing industry. She's also kind of just floundering in general in life. Her apartment is infested with mice and roaches, but she doesn't make nearly enough money to move anywhere else. Her romantic relationships are generally limited to ill-advised trysts with her coworkers, often on company property, although she's now at the start of something more serious with a man named Eric, who she met online. Eric is twice her age, he's white, and he's married, although he and his wife Rebecca have agreed to an open marriage with rules. So needless to say, Edie is spiraling, hanging on to this seemingly more mature relationship and man as a way to try something different. But of course it doesn't fix everything else going wrong in her life and really just creates more problems. When she's fired from her publishing job, then evicted from her apartment, she has nowhere to go. And so through a series of somewhat odd coincidences and more poor decision-making, Edie moves in with Eric's wife Rebecca and their adopted daughter Akila, who also happens to be black, while Eric is away at a conference for work. Somehow, even though Edie is very much in a position to tear the family apart, Rebecca isn't quite as on board with the whole open marriage thing as Eric makes her out to be. She finds herself becoming deeply connected to them. Rebecca is a fierce, capable woman who Edie is more and more drawn to, and Akila is obviously a lonely, sort of lost child, and Edie suspects that she may be the only other black person Akila knows. The connections between all four of these characters become more and more tangled and confusing and meaningful, and while it could be silly or frustrating, I found it very compelling and bittersweet. Roxane Gay called it uncomfortable and stressful and beautiful and haunting and honest and ugly, and I can't think of a better summary than that. I loved this book, even though I kind of wanted to shake all the characters by the shoulders and yell, make better choices at them through most of it. And again, that's Luster by Raven Leilani. The second book I want to tell you about today is Memorial Drive by Natasha Trethewey. Natasha Trethewey is a two-time poet laureate for the U.S., as well as a Pulitzer Prize winner for her poetry. But this is her first foray into memoir, and it is an unbelievably good one. When she was 19 years old, her mother was murdered by her ex-husband, Natasha's stepfather. Needless to say, that trauma shaped the rest of her life and how she responded to the world going forward. In this book, the full title of which is Memorial Drive, A Daughter's Memoir, she explores what it is meant to her to have lived through it, the relationship that she had with her mother before her tragic and untimely death, and how such a thing could have been allowed to happen in the first place. It's part true crime. Trethewey includes a lot of the evidence from the trials, including phone transcripts and statements from her mother and her stepfather leading up to the murder, and part meditation on what it was to be her mother's daughter, and part examination of her own early life in Georgia as the daughter of a black mother and white father in a time when interracial marriage was still a crime in that part of the country. It's not a very long book. I think the physical version is around 220 pages, although I listened to it as an audiobook, but I found it hugely impactful. It's the first book in a very long time that I've read all in one day, and since I listened to it, I kept trying to find time to sneak in a few more minutes of listening throughout the day. It shouldn't come as a surprise given her background, but Natasha Trethewey is an incredible writer, and some of the passages in this book made me gasp a little because they were just so beautiful and heart-wrenching. It's not a light read by any means, but it's a very worthwhile one, and I really loved it. So that's Memorial Drive by Natasha Trethewey. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you're reading something good this weekend as well. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.